Welcome to this video. Today we'll talk about the slogan, the self-positive instruction. Usually we do this, we teach this method at the fourth session of psychotherapy with a group of patients. So it's called, in the literature you will see positive self-statement. But of course, you don't say this to your patient, they will never remember this. So we usually say slogan. It's better this way, they will remember easily. As usual, when you have your group of patients, you will not start by saying, okay, now I will teach you the slogan. It's not working. It's too much of a passive situation. Always have to create an exchange, a dialogue. So we ask them a question. Okay, now we talk about the slogan. Can you tell me what a slogan is? And they will answer you. Okay, yes, the slogan, it's on the radio, on the website, and it's a sentence. Okay, and how is this sentence? Usually this sentence is rather short, it's with music, and it's really easy to understand, it's a catching phrase. Okay, that's it. But now that you have understood what is a slogan, or remember what is a slogan, can you tell me exactly what is it for? What is it for? What is the goal of a slogan? Oh yes, to remember, to have it in his mind. Okay, but it's not enough. What is the final goal of a slogan? Well, it's to buy things, and that's it. The goal of a self-positive statement, the goal of the slogan, is to induce a behavior. In the case of slogan, it will be to buy a product, or to choose a product or an article, or for example, in a political campaign, to vote for candidates. You can give your patient an example of famous slogan in your country. Often I would say slogan specific to France or to French-speaking countries, but in your country it will be different. So take example from famous slogan, famous advertising in your country. And sometimes I give example of the very short slogan of Barack Obama. So I say, what was the slogan of Barack Obama in his campaign during the 21st centuries? Oh, yes, we can. And you can see it's easy to catch, it's easy to remember, and it will induce the behavior of voting. You explain to your patient, you see this powerful means of inducing a behavior, you will now use it for yourself. And I will teach you now 26 slogans. And this time, so you have to really say that to your patient, I will ask you to write it down, this slogan. So please take your cell phone, take your computer, take the paper, and write it down. And you list them. So here we go. First slogan. I have to force myself. And you explain each time. I have to force myself because sometimes when you force yourself, when you prompt yourself, you can go farther than you think. Second slogan, I have to do it. Sometimes, it's good to act with impulse. And that will be the third one. The first slogan will be, I have to act with impulse. Sometimes it's useless to think, but to act is better. So you explain a bit each time the meaning of the slogan. Fourth, I can do it. Fifth, I don't know until I try. Sometimes people imagine it will be so hard, but once they do it, it's easier than they think. Sixth, I have to take risk, because if your patient wants to evolve, of course, they have to explore, they have to take risk. Everyone, every entity have somehow to take risk if they want to evolve. I have to surprise myself. This is another slogan, the seventh one. I have to surprise myself, because sometimes you have to step out of your comfort border, your comfort zone, in order to evolve, in order to change. So I have to surprise myself. I'm here to change. This is another slogan. This is the eighth one. I'm here to change. Because If you are here in the plane, in front of a dog, in front of dirtiness, in the MRI, in the hospital, it's because you want to change. You want to evolve. I'm strong enough in this situation, or I'm strong enough to overcome this. You are stronger than you think. That's the idea between for this slogan. I'm strong enough to overcome this. You are stronger than you imagine. But then it will be, I want to find my freedom. This one, the patient usually like it very much. I want to find my freedom, or I have to find my freedom. The 11th one, the next one will be, I have to conquer this situation, because sometimes the idea of knowing it, contending with it, somehow is like conquering. So I have to conquer this place, this situation. Next one will be, the force is with me. If your patient likes Star Wars, they will very likely like it, this one. The force is with me. Another one will be, who say I can't do this? Who say I can't do this? People who like challenges, usually who like this one. Who said I can't do this? Next one is, the anxiety is always temporary. It will pass. The anxiety is always temporary. It will pass. So the idea is, it's self-explained. Anxiety seems to be disagreeable. Anxiety seems uneasy, but is not dangerous. So anxiety seems uneasy, seems disagreeable, but is not dangerous. Self-explained. I have to take my time. We see that often patients, when they are anxious, they want to process things faster. They want to move faster, sometimes in an hectic way. Well, that's not good. They should, on the contrary, slow down. So to remind them to slow down, we have to tell them, I have all the time. I have to take my time. Next one is from a poem, sweetness above all. Sweetness above all. Because to be sweet, to be soft, is very important in the treatment. While to force too much oneself, to prompt too much, to go too fast, is not useful, because in learning, it's better to do this step by step at the rhythm of the patient. So you have to remind them that sweetness, softness is before anything. What's my power now? Is another slogan. What's my power now? It's the idea of choice finally here. It's like, what can I do now? But it's more interesting to say power, because like a slogan, to be more easy to remember. What's my power now? Another one would be, I do not have to prove anything to anyone. It's the idea that once you are an adult, you are not a child anymore. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You will have no parents who will give you, or teacher will give you a good mark. That's the end. I have to bury the judge in me. So this is what we have already seen in previous video. The idea that the patient have to bury the judge who is within himself. The judge will always judge. Oh, you're not good. You should always succeed. You should always be nice. As you know, it's too rigid to think this way. So it's better to bury him. Anxiety is here to protect me, is another slogan. To make your patient understand or remember that anxiety is a self-protective mechanism, not a disease. It's here to help them and help them being stronger or faster. The first step is half of a huge voyage, is half of an important journey. It's the idea that the first step is the most difficult part, but once you have done the first step, everything is easier. I want to evolve. I want to evolve is another slogan. No matter the duration of the night, the sun will always rise. If your patient is quite poetic. Another one is, I always have a choice to stay in the train or to step out of the train, to buy a plane ticket or to not buy it, to take the garbage without a glove or to wear a glove. Anxiolytic treatments in the plane or not. And the last one, suggested by an Australian colleague, will be the cave where I'm entering, or the cave wherein I'm entering, contain the treasure I seek, or the treasure that I seek. Some patients did like this one, because it's a bit like a metaphor. So to make them understand that so you can ask your patient, what is the cave exactly? Well, the cave it's dark and unknown, and it's in fact it's the situation you dread: the car, the plane, the snake, the dirtiness. But inside the cave, what do you find? I find the treasure. And what is this treasure? My freedom. So we have to enter the cave to find that treasure. We have to enter the situation to find my freedom. Once you have explained all these slogans, of course, some patient will tell you, okay, but in the slogan, the formulation that I do not like it. Can you give me another way to phrase it? Well, you can say, I will, or I'm going to. So instead of saying, I have to change, they can say, I will change, or I'm going to change, if they don't like the I have to. Or they can say, I can. For example, instead of saying, I have to find freedom, they can say, I will find freedom, or I can find freedom. Once they have written down these 26 slogans, ask them to, at home, once they are at home, to select the 5 slogans that they like the best. Because of course, among these 26, some of them they will not like it, or it will not be very representative of their mindset. So once at home, they should write down 5 among these 26, the 5 slogans they like the best, and they should write it down. If you remember in the Aware video, I advise you to tell your patient to take a paper, a thick paper, a thick file, a thick cardboard, anyway, a thick card, when they can write down the 5 sentences of the Aware system. While on the other side of this card, have them write down the 5 slogans they like the best. So they have to write, I want to find, or I have to find my freedom, the force is with me. And this card, as you remember, I said in the previous video, this cardboard always in their wallet, always in their handbag, or in their cell phone, as they want, or their smartphone, or maybe if you watch this in 100 years, in their brain chip. So this way, when they are anxious, they can at once review this method, because sometimes when the patient are anxious, they forget everything. I'm anxious now. Oh, I have to breathe. I don't remember what I should do. I don't remember. So we can just draw the card. Okay, and oh yes, and after, okay, the Aware. So accept anxiety, yes. And the other side, they can see the slogan. Oh yes, I want to find my freedom, and the force is with me, yes, etc. That's it for the slogan. Thank you for being with us today, and I will see you in the next video. Take care in the ocean of reality.